All right, guys, so today we got a Model S, another Model S. It's been a while since I had a Model S in here, and we're going to be going over, he has an intermittent noise. He sent me a couple videos and says, I don't know what's going on with it. It's not speed dependent, it's not AC dependent, it just randomly comes on. First thing it got me thinking was probably a pump, battery pump, something like that, coolant pump that's kicking on periodically. I had him bring it in and I want to run a couple of tests, see if I can figure out what it is. First things first, I want to get inside of it and I want to open up the frunk. Before I even get into pulling the frunk out of it, then I want to run a thermal test on it. And so let's get in there and do that now. Radiator fan sound good. Alright, so we'll let this thermal test run through, and in the meantime I'm going to take off the frunk and see if I can hear the pump that's making noise. That wasn't even connected. The tubes, normally there's the hoses that are on these two end pieces, but no, somebody didn't hook them up before. And before you say it, I've never worked on this car. So far it's not making any crazy noises. I don't know what the noises were, but the AC is running fine. Coolant level is fine. Yeah, the AC compressor is loud, but it's not crazy. We'll just keep taking more crap off. All right, AC compressor kicked off. So is that the end of the thermal test? So basically I think a thermal test is nothing. Doesn't do anything I'm trying to do. Alright, now I'm going to just pull out the frunk, see if I see anything blaringly obvious. So far I cannot get it to duplicate the sound. So one of the things, the last one that I'm thinking could possibly be the suspension air compressor. I don't know why it would do it during certain times unless the car was trying to raise or lower itself. So I'm gonna go try to do that now. I'm gonna try to put the car into low and then turn it back up. That was it. The air compressor, something to do with this air compressor for the suspension. So it must have been lowering and raising itself up and down. So now we know it's got a faulty suspension air compressor. So let's put it back together. So that's pretty much it. I wish this was I may not even end up posting this video. We'll see. It's not a very, this is how you do it. It's kind of like, this is what the problem could be, which is like, kind of why you clicked on this video. For now, this is the end. All right, so I just wrapped up with the customer. And as I was sitting there talking to him, there he goes right there. As I left off the last part of the video, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna give the car back to him and say, I don't know 100%. But as I got to talking to him more, I said, this is what I suspect. And I said, I think it's the air compressor for the following reasons. And it had a new code. He said, oh, I get that code regularly that said auto suspension unable to lift the car. I can't remember exactly, we'll have to put it in the video here. And he's like, I get that regularly. I'm like, okay. That kind of would have been good to know beforehand. So I said, it probably does it at a certain location. He goes, yeah, it does it at the same spot every day. I said, okay, well that's probably the geolocation raising the suspension at a particular area. That makes it a little bit better. I said, it probably only does it for a little period of time and sometimes you get the code. He said, yeah, I can say I was about 70% confident that was the air compressor. I said, I'll bump it up now to about 90% sure that it's the compressor. So I found a remanufactured compressor pump that I think I'm gonna get. But I'm going to price out that one or the EPC one. So we're going to do that now. All right, so here it is. Tesla Model S air compressor replacement. So there's a bunch of them ranging between $200 to $300. So I'm not sure what the difference is between all of them, but this one looks just like it. So it's got the compressor line here, 13 volts at 30 amps. All right, so let's go into EPC. Suspension, air suspension system, compressor. Air compressor is 440 bucks. 205 for one on eBay here. I don't know, do you go that cheap with the eBay one? That doesn't even have real images, it just has CAD drawings. All right, well, I'll let them know and stay tuned. All right guys, we're back. New outfit, new day. I got the air compressor ordered. So this is the one I got here. So this is part number 1027911-00-H. Air compressor WABCO 20, or WABCO twin, WABCO twin. Only problem is it came with this yellow piece being jacked up. So the blue piece and the yellow piece. I don't think I need it. I think these are just caps. So we're gonna try to replace this today. Couple things that I'm a little bit nervous about. It calls for toolbox 3. I don't have that, and you probably don't either. That's probably why you're watching this video. There's no other videos about it, so I decided I'd just give it a whirl. But we're gonna try to do it today without using toolbox. My theory is there's only 2 lines going in the compressor. I hope they're not pressurized. So the things that we're gonna do to make sure that they are hopefully not pressurized is I'm going to jack the car up, put it into very high mode. So hopefully I can just jack the car up, trick it, put it in a very high, put it in jack mode, disconnect the 12 volt, and then hopefully we're gonna be good to go. And I shouldn't turn the air compressor on, and I hopefully don't leak a lot of air. Let's see how it works. All right, got it all jacked up now. I'm gonna put it into very high and turn on jack mode. It's so cold here, I had to bring a heater into the garage. All right, so here she is. Okay, so now I'm gonna disconnect the 12 volt battery and go ahead and disconnect the high voltage loop. Take off the positive lead here, set that off to the side. So we'll disconnect it here, disconnect it here. Easiest way to do that, 10mm open wrench. Only because it's in tight little quarters, just make sure you don't hit anything metal. Don't want to touch anything, otherwise it'll make some little sparky sparks. You don't want that. All right. Take out the positive lead. Jeez. There we go. Take off the negative lead. So now the 12 volt is disconnected, and now I'm going to go over here and disconnect the high voltage loop. So now that's disconnected. We have no 12 volt power and no high voltage power. So now we can look at this compressor. Actually, first, while the system is still pressurized, I want to spray it with a little bit of soap. Thing won't stop. The squirter. I don't see anything leaking out of the valve block. Oh, actually, this little blue one has a little leak right here. I don't know if you saw that on camera. You can kind of see it bubbling up around the outside of the edge. All right, so now I'm hoping I can just disconnect this bad boy. And it's not gonna spray a bunch of air. It's gonna be nice and chill. Okay, now it's leaking air. So hopefully it's not gonna be a lot. I don't love all that air leaking out of there because it could be nitrogen, which nitrogen is an inert gas. And from what I've read, is that the compressor will just fill up the tank with outside air if it has a nitrogen loss. It just sucks that nitrogen is a good air to have in there rather than just regular outside air. It's got moisture and stuff in there, so hopefully it's not all nitrogen and I'm not releasing all this nitrogen and gonna put regular moisturized air in there. All right, I'm gonna try undoing these mounts from it now. So there's 1, 2, 3 bolts going to it right now. Another 10mm right there. There's the other bolt. So I got the 2 bolts out there. Now the other one is underneath of here. And I can reach it. I'm gonna get a ratcheting wrench. So a lot of the pubs that I've read have said that you need to remove the whole under tray. I don't think that's necessary. I think if you can reach underneath it here, it's gonna be just as easy to take this bolt out, which I'm already on it. I just gotta start unthreading it now. got it loosened up. Now I'm just taking it out with my fingers right now. There we go. All right, so there's the bottom bolt. A little bit bigger head on it. So now this whole bracket is loose. All right, so I don't know how I disconnected that. There's a little tab inside of there. I guess I just poked it and it came right off. There we go. All right, so that one's just a squeeze, just a traditional connector. So you can see, just push the button right there. All right, so now I can disconnect this one a little bit better now. This one's gonna be that 12. This one doesn't seem to have any pressure on it whatsoever. All right, so that one's disconnected. It's got a lot of rust on the inside of that. That might be part of the problem why the compressor failed. And now it's done hissing, so that means I can disconnect the other side. All right, so there's that one disconnected. So both of these lines are disconnected. So now I should be able to just take this compressor out. Maybe this bolt right here. Ooh, be careful of that. Don't want to mess up that AC line. So I believe it's just these two bolts holding it in. And then after that, it should slide right out of this housing. It's basically just a supported housing. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take this hose off the end of here. All right, not too bad. Okay, there's that hose disconnected. So now, oh, it looks like this bolt goes in there. Okay, so there's that one. Now I should be able to just take this whole thing out of here. Bam! Don't lose that. Okay, so there's the old one. There she is. So what I was saying about those fittings earlier that were destroyed, it looks like we don't even need them, so that's a good thing. Okay, one of the things I noticed, this has to go clipped on here, just like that, and then it goes underneath, just like that. All right, I'm gonna take these out now, these two fittings now. I got it out of the car. So I got those fittings out now, so I'm gonna slide it down into here. All right, there's that one. There's that one. Okay, so now this is gonna go over there. That's sitting pretty. This hose needs to go on. I think I'll wait on that one. These need to go in. So these are plastic going into, I'm sorry, these are brass going into plastic. So you just gotta make sure you get them lined up, because if you cross thread them, it'll cross thread the entire way. Nice and easy. And then on these, you don't have to go ridiculously tight, because again, your brass into plastic. All right, there's that one tightened up. That's all tight. So now I'm gonna disconnect this hose. And then I need to slide this down. Now I just gotta clip it in place here. I don't think I was ready for it. There we go, that slides in a little bit better. Trying to get underneath this coolant line, there we go. All right, so now I'll connect this again. Good click. Grab this connector. They click there. Go ahead and put it in place on the bracket. Okay, connectors are connected. So now I just gotta get those 3 bolts in, we're good to go. So I'm gonna go with the one that's the hardest to reach up here in the front. So all I'm doing is I'm looking at the other holes to see if I got myself lined up right, because I'm going strictly by feel. Oh yeah. So I'm pulling up on the compressor a little bit. So that bottom one's in. I just gotta tighten it up with a ratcheting wrench. There's that one. All right, there we go. I just dropped it in place. Now I should be able to use this extension and send it home. So now I'm just gonna reach underneath there and tighten up this other one. All right, so that one's good to go. So now everything's hooked up, everything's connected. So I'll connect the high voltage loop. All right, high voltage is connected. Let's hook up the low voltage, 12 volt. Coolant pumps are on. Now let's go inside the car. Car's still booting up. I'm hoping that it'll show us some pressures on here. I remember seeing pressures before. Chassis, suspension. It says measuring pressure. Measure pressure. All right, so it's at 5.9 bar, 6 bar, success. That's good. I guess we'll get it back on the ground, showing green all around. That's a good sign. Jack mode is no longer on. That's low mode. Now let me see if I can go to high. You hear that? Nice and quiet. It does seem like it's taking a minute. So I guess it's building up that pressure right now. And now it's lifting. And it does a little blow off. Oh yeah, baby. So even though I've been out of the game for a little while, I decided to risk it and do this one for this guy. And it paid off. I got to make a nice YouTube video. There's no other air compressor video that I've seen on anywhere about how to change that air compressor out. And it's maybe because of the apprehension about the toolbox. You don't need it. So if you do exactly how I did it, let some of the air out, lift it up, put it in very high, put it in jack mode, you don't even need toolbox. You don't even need a mess of nitrogen, none of that. So we're good to go. Now at this point, I'll just throw the front back in it and take it for a test drive and make sure it's all good, but I'm excited. Good job, Chad. Nice job. Pat on the back. You did a great job. So if you're nervous and afraid, don't be, because it turned out well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and bundle it up now. So I'm just gonna put it in time lapse, throw all this back together, and you guys know how to do it from here. So thank you so much, and enjoy your new air compressor and your self-leveling.